All right, good morning. It's 0700. We'll go ahead and get started with our briefing. My name's Steve DeBenedette, Deputy Plant Section Chief with Incident Management Team 3. Today is Sunday, August 22nd, 2021, and this is your operational briefing for the Dixie incident. As a reminder, if you have phones in the audience there, please put them on a mute setting, and please refrain from any side conversations during our briefing. With the incident objectives, both the management objectives and the control objectives have not changed since the last operational period. Now for your situational update, night operations, Sean Jerry.
Good morning, Sean Jerry, night operations starting in branch 9 and 13. All control lines held through the evening, Division Kilo to the Highway 89 park entrance. Branch 16, the slop over by Butte Lake last night. Crews were able to pick that up. They continued to prep the line through Division, Quebec, and Romeo for possible firing operations today. Clear Branch and the Duffy Group along Highway 36, crews continue to work direct on the line and mop that up as well. Janesville Branch last night made a little run towards Highway 395. The crews were able to line that and they continue to mop that up today. Thank you and have a safe day.
Weather, Joe Gosward.
Thank you and good morning, everyone. First off, the red shirt has been retired. And speaking of somewhat retirement, this will be my last shift. You do have a new IMET to take care of all your weather duties. That's Mr. Derek over there waving. He'll take care of you real good. And we have set him up for success. A very, very quiet weather pattern will be unfolding over the next couple of days. As that upper level trough does pull out, we still could see some gusty ridgetop winds, but they'll be pretty few and far between, but still could see some higher gusts during the afternoon hours along the exposed ridges and those other favorite areas that you guys know all about. Remember though, this is not your official forecast. Your official forecast is in your IAP. And we're still always looking for weather observations. So if you guys are taking weather observations, text them to me, drop them by the trailer. Any way you got to get them to me or the F-band, they are greatly appreciated. Now, as far as the weather is concerned, very quiet today. That upper level system is well east of us. We're going to see a general light southwest flow. Temperatures up a little bit, humidity down a little bit from what we saw yesterday. And it looks like a very quiet next couple of days with really no fire weather concerns at all to speak of. So again, just some gusty ridgetop winds today. Other than that, we're looking good. Thank you.
Fire behavior, Brian Newman.
Okay, good morning. So one of the things I want to bring up today that we noticed yesterday is that down here, especially in the Lake Branch, down towards the Butte sector, and any part that had been burned a couple of weeks ago, we're noticing quite a bit of needle cast on there. And really what the problem with that is that it falls onto those burning stump holes and that ground fuel that's just smoldering out, and it has the opportunity to burn and move across the landscape. It's not going to threaten any lines, but it's something to be aware of when you're out there working in some of these areas that are black lined but still have some heat. So overall across the fire, looking pretty good for the most part. Still quite a bit of heat in the northern part up here. I expect that we're going to continue to have some continued growth just under this conditions we are, because remember, this is a fuel-driven fire. So it'll keep burning along, keep steadily going, and then any of that thinning smoke that we're going to see from those ridgetop winds will allow it to pick up on some activity and have a little bit of growth and have a little bit of a challenge. So just be aware of that where you are on the topography, and just know that those ridgetop winds are coming up. As we get over here, especially into the Janesville area, this escarpment allows that winds, even this diurnal flow that we're going to be experiencing, allows those winds to really be erratic and to push the fire around. Yesterday we saw 180-degree wind shifts and fire shifts as it came off the escarpment over there. This is lighter, flashier fuels in the grass, some sage, and mixed timber, so it's more receptive to spotting and more receptive and available to spread more rapidly. So just really be a heads up if you're working down in this section, even under these just a light winds, that it will still push it around over there. There is still some heat in the Clear Branch area. It's interior, but remember, it only takes a little bit of wind and a little bit of activity, and it starts throwing up some embers, and it is very receptive out there. I don't expect it to challenge the lines necessarily, but that activity is still out there, and we are still very, very dry, and this is that fuel-driven fire. Overall, as we get into the night tonight, we're going to settle down with those ridgetop winds, just diurnal flows. So just light breezes coming down slopes where you are across the fire. No specific direction, just down slope, down canyon where you are. So just be aware of that as we get into nightfall. We are under this smoke layer this morning. I expect that to thin a little bit today, but that's going to inhibit your air operations. So take that into effect with your plans, and don't make any plans that are dictated by air operations itself. So please take all that in consideration and have a safe shift.
Safety, Damon Godden.
Hey, good morning. I just want to start out by saying the definition of safety is the result of doing things right. You've all been doing a lot of things right, and we want to encourage you to keep doing the same. Please also manage fatigue with your folks. Check with yourself and check with your staff. We want to make sure everybody's paying attention to each other. Pace yourself throughout the shifts that we have to come. We have a lot of work to do before we're done, a lot of burning operations. So with that, we had a severe smoke exposure the other day with one of our inmate firefighters, and we want to make sure that none of our firefighters get that kind of exposure to smoke. So pay attention to where you're at and where your folks are. Try to get them into fresh pockets of air when available, and keep that in mind. Additionally, COVID-19. It is here like it is in the rest of the nation and in the world. So pay attention to that. Maintain your precautions with it. Wash your hands. Keep good eyes on your folks. Make sure they're doing their self-awareness. With that, have a safe shift.
Operations, Mark Brunton.
Good morning. Welcome back. And for those of you new, welcome to the Dixie. So in the west sector, or the west zone, we have 3 sectors. Under each sector, we have a number of branches, and of that, divisions and groups. For our roll call, we'll roll call down to the division supervisor level. We do have one sector that is dialed in remotely to us. They're not here present in person, and then the rest will have in person in the roll call. So our Butte sector is the one that's remote. For the branches, you'll have Morris, and then divisions will be Casone. Moving on to the folks that are here in your leadership. For the Lassen sector, Deputy Operations Section Chief Bohall. Branch 9, Ham. Kilo, Strike Team Leader of 9443, Charlie, Imlock. Division Lima, Reese. Lassen Heavy Equipment, Bohan. In our Branch 13, Branch Director Orr and Bunch. Okay, and then in our divisions, all are on the line with the exception of Division Papa will be English and Crow. Branch 16, Boston. Quebec will be Rivers. Trainee, Zimmerman. Division Romeo will be Swope. Moving on to our Westwood sector, Deputy Operations Section Chief Norman. In Juliet, Strike Team Leader Nelson. In the Clear Branch, Smith. Meadow Group, Degg. Duffy Group, Spindler. Westwood and the Peninsula Group, Schmidt. Janesville Branch will be Gaines. Deputy Branch, Ehrlich. River Group, Garcia. Gold Group, Brady. Milford Group, McTeague. With Trainee Perry. Hicks Group, Grindal. Wingfield Group, Wilson. Fire suppression repair will be in the Butte sector, be Derby, and staging, Montiel. Okay, our priorities for the day. In the Lassen sector, we have, we're going to stop our westward progression of the fire, keeping that east of the 89 corridor. Division Quebec got a big multi-day burn operation that'll be conducted there. Within the park, there's going to be a burn operation Division Papa, be later in the shift. And then we're going to be starting a contingency branch north of the park in the area of the community of Old Station. Moving down into our Westwood sector, number one priority is continue the battle for Janesville and the protection of that community, get that buttoned up. And then our Clear branch to finish up that last portion that has any sort of threat to the community of Susanville. So I want to take the time to identify and thank a lot of people that make the operation successful. You know, we're here, you got your leadership, you got our traditional operational briefing, the boots in the ground folks, and that's important to identify them, but there's a lot more that makes this machine roll and makes you be able to get out there and fight the actual fire. So on an operational standpoint, the thinking outside the box stuff is we've been stripped with resources, we've been down on resources, huge fire, helping our folks to the next zone, so we've had to think outside the box. So we've gone into each section outside of the ops section and asked, hey, can you pony up some folks to come out and help with the firefight? And each one has, whether they come from plans, finance, logistics, and got a little creative and put them into these little patrol tasks and that sort of thing, and they've gone out there and they've helped us be a force multiplier and mopping up the fire and filling in behind the engine company so they can bounce forward to take care of other priorities. Okay, that's huge. The local unit, last MODOC unit, they've got their day in, day out jobs to take care of the IA. They've kicked down, especially when we're talking about Janesville, led a charge in there and we're the force multiplier and helping take care of that issue down there and fight the fire. And it goes beyond that. It's the people that back here at Incident Base that are providing your meals, the people that are providing your supplies, the people that are providing the money and the finances and all that to take care of that so it's all there for you. And most importantly, obviously, the people that are keeping you housed and accommodated. General Hal Moore said, every person in an organization is an important and necessary to the mission as the next person. That goes from the top to the bottom. So with that, we want you to stay team-oriented like a champion today.
Air Operations, Matt Stanford.
Good morning. On page 57 and 58, you'll find your air assets. Once again, just be patient with our aircraft, our fixed wing. We're trying to get them up. Air may be clear on the fire, and if it is, we're going to get them up and we're going to do some damage with those aircraft. So please keep that in mind. Yesterday, we dropped over 120,000 gallons of water, 50,000 gallons of retardant, and all of that came out of helicopters flying under the smoke column. So give those guys credit when you're out there. We've been keeping people out of the drop zones, and I'd like to continue that. And once they leave, once the helicopters leave, they've been able to get boots on the ground. Very much appreciated. Today we'll have the VLAT, ASM, Air Attack, and 2 tankers on station. Still have 27 helicopters working out of 4 helibases, and all 4 helibases flew yesterday. Medical emergencies, please follow the medical plan. Work safely together.
Communications, Corey Costa.
Good morning. Today for August 22nd is a new clone today. We had a new clone start yesterday, but only had probably half people come through. So it's imperative that you do get cloned. For your West Zone 205s, you'll be on page 59 and page 60. East Zone 205 will be on page 61. So turn to page 59 for the West Zone 205, and we'll show what the additions are. It's Shasta Contingency Group and the Lassen Heavy Equipment Group. On page 60 of your 205s, we have added NIFC Command 99. I'll guarantee you do not have that command frequency in your radio. This is why it's imperative that you come by and get cloned. You may be on the first page, but you might be surged over to that other page. You're going to have that. We also removed NIFC TAC 2 off of page 60. To help with cloning, because we can get a good line going, please have your radios ready. Wipe them down with the wipes provided. Make sure your lapel mics, your dust covers are off, and your radios turned on. We'll help get the line going and get everybody through. As always, if you have any questions, concerns, come see us at Communications. We're at the end of Main Street down here by Supply. Have a safe shift.
Medical, Fred D'Acquisto.
Good morning. If you could turn to page 63 in your IAP, you'll find the medical plan. Please review this with your crews, especially the information in box 8. To the left is the procedures for a medical emergency on the line, and to the right is the information we need to get you the appropriate resources to mitigate your issue. If you have any in-camp medical needs, come see the folks at CalMat tents. They're right between feeding and the comm unit. And if you have any injuries on the line, come see us at Trailer Row. And again, if you have any questions or Anything you need to address with us, come see us in Trailer Row or contact the number at the bottom of the medical plan. Thank you. Have a good shift.
Information, Blanca Mercado.
Good morning. If you turn to page 66 in your IAP, the numbers for today: acreage 721,298. That's 721,298. Containment's at 37%, 37. Total personnel is at 5,891. That's 5,891. If you have the media on your line, utilize the media line number at the top of the page. We'll get a PIO out to you. The Calfire social media policy is also available through the QR code on the right of the page. Photographs and videos, we still want them, guys. If you can send them to that Gmail account that's right there underneath that paragraph. Lost and found and mail service is still available. Utilize the address at the bottom of the page in that box. Come see us at our trailer. Have a safe shift.
For finance, please refer to the finance message beginning on page 68 of the IAP. A few reminders: immediately after briefing, please report to your breakout locations. The Westwood sector is located behind me outside the fence. The Lassen sector is located behind you outside the briefing area. Unassigned resources, please meet off to my right outside the fence, and a resource leader will meet with you and get you an assignment. For our meeting schedule, cooperators meetings at 0900 hours, the next planning meetings at 1700 hours, and your next operational briefings tomorrow at 0700 hours. And now with our Unified Incident Commanders, Jay Lusher and Billy C.
Good morning. Earlier this summer, we saw the most elite athletes across the world compete. They're pushing the limits of human performance. But as we push those limits, they're down to hundredths of a second and centimeters to get world records and to compete. Fighting these large fires is the same way. As we get closer to the end, those last few pieces are a lot harder to attain. Those athletes do that through training and focus, and we want you to continue to focus on these last few pieces of line. We have better weather to support us and an opportunity to make accomplishments, so stay focused on those accomplishments as you work through your shift today. Thank you.
On behalf of all the unified agencies on this incident, I want to say thank you very much for the hard work you put in thus far. Obviously, we still got a long road ahead of you. Complacency may start to set in. It's been a long grind. I get it. Everyone's tired. But we still got a job to do out there. We've got good weather patterns the next 3 or 4 days. We need to take advantage of it. The work you've done thus far is starting to create some normalcy for all these communities that have been impacted. There's still communities in danger out there on this incident. So when areas start to stand up and endanger these communities, expect to be moved in there. We're going to protect as much as possible. We're going to do the best job we can. Everyone's doing a great job. We've given you the briefing. We talked about safety. Safety is going to be key out there. We want everyone to go home after this incident. Make sure you're wearing your PPE. It's issued to you for a reason. We take that seriously. We want you to take that seriously. Have a safe shift.
That concludes your operational briefing. Please remember to turn your phones back on and have a safe shift.